Thank you very much. We're going to talk much more about the healthcare issue in China with Jack Perkowski. He's the managing partner of JFP Holdings. Good to see you again, sir. So, look, she painted a fairly rosy picture in terms of the opportunity that exists in the healthcare market in China. What do you think about that?
No, there definitely is a big opportunity. The healthcare business today in China is about a $500 billion industry, which is expected to double to $1 trillion by 2020. I mean, frankly, there aren't many industries globally that are $1 trillion, let alone a specific industry in one country. So it's definitely a big market, and I think that's why you're seeing people coming into the market, and you're also seeing companies trying to innovate to find new ways to do things.
Yeah, but just because it's a big market doesn't mean that everybody's making money, right? A lot of money goes into research and development. A lot of money gets wasted in venture capital funds on ideas that do work or even don't work. And even the ones that do work, they don't necessarily or always profitable.
No, that's absolutely correct. But China's got a big healthcare issue. There are an estimated 260 million Chinese that are suffering from one type of chronic disease or another, and to get treatment to all of those people is a big challenge. So China needs to find a way to do that, but to do it in a way that's affordable to the bulk of its population. That means that companies are going to have to try new things, and clearly there are going to be some winners, and there are obviously going to be losers in that.
Is the problem, as Yijing pointed out, there are not enough doctors and nurses, or is the problem there isn't enough clinics, or is the problem there isn't enough hospitals? Where do you start to fix the problem?
Well, I think that, I do think that the online approach is one way to address the shortage of doctors. It's a more efficient way of making that expertise available to a larger number of patients. I think the other big issue that China will need to address is the whole insurance industry, because right now the state insurance doesn't really cover many types of treatment. So that's going to be a big issue that China will need to address in the coming years.
What part does Ali Health play into that? There's the Medicare part of it, I suppose you could say, and there's obviously the insurance part of it, then there's the actual practice part of it. What's the role that it could play potentially?
Well, right now, Ali Health is really addressing the online sales of pharmaceutical products, and China's looking to open up the $160 billion industry, which is the prescription drug market, to private companies like Ali Health. So that's really what they're targeting. Right now, about 2/3 of all of the prescription drugs in China are distributed by the hospitals, which are largely state-run. So this is really putting that in the hands of the private enterprises.
So I translate that when you say in the hands of the private enterprise, that there needs to be a significantly more investment in the private sector to not necessarily offset the government-run hospitals, but sort of complement at least those services, right?
Well, what I was talking about was the distribution of prescription drugs, but what you allude to is the creation or development of more new hospitals, and you're absolutely right that there's going to be a big investment needed in the hospital sector, and that's why China has now opened up the hospital sector to private and to foreign companies. So many foreign companies like Harvard, UPMC, and so forth are now investing money in opening up hospitals, foreign-funded hospitals in China. So I think that China is going to get some help from its overseas friends.
Jack, if I'm an investor watching this show right now and I say, look, I agree with everything you say, I think there's huge potential, I think there's huge profit potential, how do I get in on it? Is it through the venture capital market? Is it through the private equity market? Are there public funds I can buy? What's the best way to sort of take advantage of this trend?
I think it's really through the public equity market. Most people don't have access. I mean, to the extent they do have access to venture capital funds, clearly that's a good way. But most people don't. Most ordinary investors don't have access to venture capital funds. And so I would say that some of the publicly traded companies, I think there are some good U.S. and other companies that are listed that are going to have big opportunities in China, and that may be a good way to play it as well. I regularly tell people that the healthcare area is one of the biggest single opportunities in China today.
All right. Well, you are certainly not alone, Jack. Thank you very much. And send us that list of companies that you like, by the way, too.